So what is up, YouTube? Hope you're having a blessed day. Take a look at this. The birds have hated on the truck. They've crapped all over it. It's terrible. I don't know what I did to deserve this. It's everywhere. Look at this. Thick. Gonna have to wash it off. Have a video that I think is gonna be really helpful for you guys today. I've seen only one other like it, and have a sheet for you. Here, I printed this out. Hopefully you can see this, but this video is going to be about price ranges for cam and head swapping your Silverado or LS motor. It's going to be about the same price across the board for LS engines. So the prices I'll give you guys is for cam only, heads only, and then both. And then I'll give you guys prices with and without labor. That way you know if you want to do it yourself, how much money you can save. Alright, so I was able to reprint this, so it'll show up a little bit better, but we'll start with the cam card. Cam I went with was a comp cam, intake lift 525, exhaust lift 532, it's right there. I would recommend going bigger. If I could do it over again, I'd probably at least go to 550, probably closer to 600 though. And then my low angle separation is 114, and we'll start on this. I pulled these prices from Summit Racing, Texas Speed, and Jags, and also some parts from like O'Reilly's AutoZone. I've averaged all these out. Alright guys, we'll start with cam only. If you can't see this, I'm going to walk you through it, so it should be fine. So price ranges for cam, I've found anywhere from $280 to $500. That's about a good price range. My comp cam was $393. It's a pretty good deal. It's a trusted company, so it's worth spending that much. So you're going to need springs if you do a cam. So springs are anywhere from $70 to $700. I know that gets pretty ridiculous, but you can get 650 lift springs for $180. Those are what my comps were. Initially, I went with $70 GM. I believe it's LS6 springs. They're the blue springs you guys may know. And then you don't have to do push rods. If the base circle of your cam is different, you're going to need them. But push rods are about 100 to 160. And so for cam only, a budget build could be cam 390, springs 180. This is going to be a pretty decent budget build. Timing cover gasket set, you're going to need that. Camshaft gasket. That's kind of the little sprocket that holds it on. And a balancer bolt, you're going to need to do that. So that's about $635. For you DOD people, I think it's 08 and newer 5.3s and LS motors. You're going to need a DOD. Well, you don't have to, I don't believe. I'm not 100% sure, but DOD kits range from anywhere from a good one, 225 to 980. That's kind of adding ARP bolts, everything, the lifters. And so a DOD budget build would be around $935. All right, moving on to the head swap. Cylinder heads, you're going to get them for around $750 to $2,900. The $750 would be if, say, you picked up a set of used 243s and then you had a machine shop mill them to get your compression. That would be good for a 5.3. That's the route I went. And then say you want some brand new castings, some CNC good flow castings, it's going to be upwards of $2,900. That's on the high side. And then, so the customer supplied castings through Texas Speed is a pretty good deal. I've seen that too, where you send in like 243s and have them do the port work, and any valve jobs or anything you need done, they'll set your springs up and everything. So like I said, the cheapest route would be some milled 243s, and you would also still be cheaper to port a set of 243s. You would still be cheaper than a brand new set of CNC heads. So a budget head swap would be heads 500, head gaskets 110. That's kind of an estimate. Head bolts $50. That's not ARP. That's just Velcro bolts. They work fine if you're not planning on taking them off again. Intake gaskets or intake gasket $50, and then header gaskets, you're going to need those if you take the heads off, $30, and header bolts about $30. So a good budget build for a head swap would be $770. You might want to do lifters. I didn't add that in there, but that's not going to add much. Texas Speed has some good prices. Labor, I've done all my own labor both times that I had to pull the heads both times. I pulled the heads when I did the cam swap. I pulled the heads to fix the cracked heads when I put 243s on. So labor for a cam install is going to be anywhere from $650 to $1,300. Depends on if they pull the heads. Head swap by itself, $700 to $1,200. I've had someone offered to do it for $800. That's a pretty reasonable price. Doing both a cam and head swap would be anywhere from $1,000 to $1,600. The book price on that through GM, I've actually figured this out, is $1,400. So I would say do it yourself if you have the tools. There's plenty of videos to help you, and you can save a lot of money. So I'd recommend doing it yourself. I want to clarify one more thing before we end the video. So when I was talking about budget build, my idea of budget build versus your idea of budget build may be totally different. When I wrote these numbers up, I wrote it for pretty good stuff. Like these springs are going to be good springs. For $180, you can get some good comp springs. And then the cam, that's a pretty good cam. Comp makes great cams. And then the same thing with the heads. You could probably get through a lot cheaper, but I wanted some quality parts. And then so I added it up. So for doing both the cam and head swap, parts alone is probably going to be around $1,400 to $1,500. Found a pretty cool spot for the outro here. Just open fields on both sides of me. And this long road, this would be a great spot to drag race. I'm not going to step out of the truck yet, but I want to pop the hood in just a second before we end this video, show you everything, give you a start, and let you hear the cam for just a second. Pop the hood, show you guys everything underneath. Here she is. Intake. Headers. Great Texas speed headers. Here's the heads, 243 heads. We'll give you a start up before we end here. There you go, guys. Really windy out here. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, found it helpful if you're interested in camming or head swapping your truck, or maybe you're just curious. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a blessed day.